talk about Ledger. The hardware giant is working on an exchange for institutional clients in the wake of almost everyone falling apart last year. They think that they have a spot in the market for transparency and going by the rule book. They're working with a number of other crypto exchanges to be able to boot up their own exchange, including Crypto.com, Bitstamp, Huobi, Uphold, CEX.io, Winterview, and many other trading firms. Now, the question, of course, is can Ledger get past the wake of its past incidences with its own hardware company, where they've accidentally leaked some customer information a few times, and more recently have implemented a new policy into some of their hardware wallets that enabled the hardware wallet itself to be able to extract the seed phrase from the Ledger device. That was met by a lot of upset fans on Bitcoin Twitter. Now the question is, can this move over into a different vertical with trading, and can their brand do so? Zach, I saw your hand go up. I'll give it to you.
I think the answer is yes. Ledger's been around for a long time. They are a stalwart of the crypto space. If you really think about it, they're one of the few that stood the test of last year, right? Like, name a bigger crypto company right now besides like Coinbase. Ledger is certainly up there, at least top 5. They're cool. They're French. They're going to do institutional in a way that's going to work. I'm pulling for them. I think it's going to work. This is similar to like Fireblocks and stuff, right? It's custody, but gives you the functionality to trade these assets in near real time. And that's what a lot of these trading partners are looking for, right? It is perfectly sensible that this firm would move more heavily into enterprise or institutional custody. It's something that Coinbase has had a ton of success with. If you look at a lot of their public filings, especially when they went public, it's just staggering to realize that a lot of their business is indeed on that side through Coinbase custody. So the idea that there's room in the market, I think, certainly makes sense in different jurisdictions where these companies operate. So Ledger stepping in there, trying to leverage its sort of more retail known brand into a more institutional offering makes a ton of sense. And I don't see why it wouldn't necessarily work. But, you know, obviously the devil's in the details and things could go south. I don't know, Will. Do you think that's the case?
Yeah, I think it's actually a pretty smart idea to do this, right? I think that right now Ledger does have some ability to like sell Bitcoin or buy Bitcoin right directly from the Ledger app. Like if you do plug it into a computer, and to be able to build out this more makes a lot of sense. Exchanges make the most money with the implosion of FTX and the crackdown on Binance, Kraken, and Coinbase. I think there's room in the market for another player. Ledger has been around forever, so there's some like skepticism around Ledger because, again, they've had the one instance where they lost customer identities through a leakage incident, which does happen to most every company in using the internet these days. And then most recently with seed extraction product they were coming to market with, which I believe now has been delayed. So those two things are maybe reasons that people would be skeptical about this product. But oftentimes this product isn't for those people, right? This is for institutional. So we'll see what happens. Jen?
Yeah, I think in both of those instances you mentioned, Will, it's about how you communicate, how you move on, how you continue to build out and ensure that these things don't happen again. And Zach, to your point, I think Ledger has stood the test of time and they've shown that they can be adaptable to feedback and fix issues that would maybe lead to data breaches. I think what's interesting about Ledger is it seems like they really watched the FTX implosion. They watched what was happening with the domino effect that rippled through the industry, and they came up with solutions both for retail users and institutional users. They obviously tried to roll out their Recover solution, were met with backlash. That's on pause now, and now the institutional play. I think probably both of these products have been being developed for a long time, and I think it's going to work. If you look at the partners who they already have on board, I think those are great partners to start with, and I'm with both of you. I'm rooting for Ledger on this one.
Hey, you never know. I mean, strange things happen in crypto. Like these partners, it could be bad. You never know. You just never know. Not to FUD. Yeah, not to FUD the roster here, but things can go south here in crypto. But I think this is probably on pretty firm footing, at least. I think going back to like the whole, the past episode with, Recover, I guess what it was called. Called Recover? Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm blanking on the brand name.
I think it was called Recover.
Okay, thank you. So it sort of represents kind of where Ledger is, right? In the wake of FTX, I think they announced that they had seen like their most sales ever for their hardware devices that are obviously more retail focused. They're sort of in the middle ground where they're trying to like serve a diehard audience that they pretty much own, and they're trying to grow to new audiences and get self-custody to more people such that maybe those people can avoid the stuff that happened with all these subsequent collapses, right? So I think they are sort of in this moment where they're trying to figure out what that next step is, and they're trying to push the boundaries of what that may be. Recover was an attempt to be more mainstream friendly on the retail side, and now obviously with this institutional push, they see opportunity there as well. So it's interesting to see, like, you kind of see Ledger sort of bumping up against its current limits and trying to figure out what it becomes in its next iteration, which I think is interesting to watch just from a business coverage perspective. But anyway, that's all I got. Let's talk about NFTs though.